Hey, this is Meredith Elliott, Powell. You know what time it is. It is 8 a.m. Eastern, Saturday morning, our favorite time of the week. It is time for Sales Logic. Hanging out here with my partner, Mark Hunter. Mark, what do we have on tap for today?
We have on tap, we're going to be talking about AI and how AI impacts relationships and what you should be doing with AI. So this is going to be interesting. This is going to be good. And
Yeah, a lot changing.
a lot changing. You got it.
Prospect with integrity, we will get customers who have integrity. Integrity is the foundation from which everything is built on.
You better understand value. But at the end of the day, sales is a relationship business. It is a people business. It is an emotional business.
This is Sales Logic.
Hey, once again, the time for Sales Logic. Now, before Mark tells you specifically what is on tap for today, I like to tell you how the show works. We start the show off every week with a question from you, the audience, because Sales Logic is about you and making you more effective. So if you want to be a part of the show, send your question to me, send it to Mark. We'll include you right here on the show. We cover a hot topic, we recommend a book, and because we want you to be more effective at sales, we leave you with a lightning round. So Mark, what's up for today?
Okay, the topic is, will AI make relationships less important? Stop and think about that in this as AI explodes around us. The question, great question, comes from Tammy in Phoenix. She says, my boss is pushing us to use AI for everything we do. Feels like my job is at risk. My clients love me. We sell cybersecurity services and they need personal service. It's a big reason they buy from me. What should I do? So I put that into the Sales Logic brain. Okay, I used AI. It's a great tool open to the mastermind members. And it came back with a number of things, but two I'm going to highlight, and that is embrace AI as a tool. Don't run from AI, but use it as a tool because it can help you systematize routine tasks, help you get out of some work. And then two, enhance your AI skills. In other words, don't run from it. Tammy, you sell cybersecurity, so that means you're in the technological forefront. Embrace AI, learn what it's doing, learn how to use it, but don't run from it. How about some thoughts from you?
Yeah, I think this is such an interesting question. I mean, first of all, I love the fact that the brain told her to jump on AI now, because I don't think any of us have figured it out where it's going to fit into sales, how customers will use it. But if you don't start playing with it now, you're going to be so far behind when it becomes mainstream that it'll be too hard to catch up. So I think that's really important. So don't worry about how specifically it works. The second piece is, I fall into the category that absolutely not. I mean, I think it's going to make relationships more and more and more important. Mark, it's so interesting. I just got a quote unquote sales pitch today, and it was basically how to sell online. And what the gentleman who was saying, who was pitching me, was, he said, be human. He said, in every single email, be ridiculously personal and human. And I thought, wow, that is true. He said, because every email coming through looks like it's been at least run through AI. And so I think that there's going to be a place for AI, and we can talk about that in a moment. But I think more than anything, I think the human side of it is going to be more important.
I think without a doubt, this is the yin and the yang. The yin is AI, running to AI, but the yang is the personal nature. And I think without a doubt, it's going to make relationships that much more important. I'll never forget. I used to live in New York, and the pace of New York and everything. And yet I found people in New York to be more personable than anything you could possibly imagine once you broke through. And it's the yin and the yang. So embrace it, love it. Hey, I love comment from Bill. Yes, Meridith is in Western North Carolina. She's not there right now, but boy, I'll tell you what, our hearts go out to that whole area there. And we're going to highlight some areas that you can help when we get to the end of the show. So,
Oh, that would be awesome. Bill, thanks so much. And yeah, you've really got to know your specific audience. So, Mark, I don't know how you feel about this, but I think since AI has hit the mainstream, I think picking up the phone has become more important. And I know I feel like I'm, talking to the master because nobody picks up the phone more than you do. But when we think about relationships and we think about human connection, here's what I think. I think is with people so used to emailing and so used to texting that you lose the art of conversation and you lose the art of listening, that it becomes a competitive advantage if you can do it.
Oh, I think without a doubt, and the phone might be Zoom, it might be Teams, it might be any number of communication methods, but it is about getting in touch. Now, I'm going to come back and say, okay, what about text messaging? Is that, it's funny. I got on my daughter's case the other day because all she does is text. And she says, you can call your mom, dad. We do like to hear from you. And, well, I'm busy. But it's interesting, the conversations we do have, they are streaming text messages. So in a certain degree, that's communication. But here's the whole thing. What is the personal nature in everything we do? This is what's key. Because at the end of the day, we have to get personal with people. And that may sound creepy, that might sound weird, but we're human beings. It is a very natural state.
Yeah, I think that too. It's so interesting because we've been talking so much about everything that's going on in Western North Carolina, and in Western North Carolina with the floods, there's a radio station called iHeartRadio, and if you want to know anything that's going on in Western North Carolina, listen to that station. It goes off after 5 radio stations. You can catch it on a podcast app. But here's the tragic story, is one after another. But this man called in yesterday, and he said, "This is the hardest thing I've ever been through, but I'm sitting here with my kids in the dark every night." And he said, "Last night, my children said, 'Daddy, when this returns to normal, could we do this once a week?'" And what his kids meant was, he said, "We eat dinner together. We go to church together, but we don't do this together." He said, "We've had to be present because we don't have any electricity. We don't have any water. We don't have any tablets, no distractions, no television." And he said, "We just had to sit there and talk to each other." And he said, and I think how that relates to everything that we're talking about. If I were training a sales team right now, I would train them in the art of conversation and listening, because AI is going to get better at all that other stuff that is going to make them more efficient. But let's be real. There's bias in AI. There's ethical issues in AI. There's wrong information in AI. So it's a great tool, but it is going to emphasize the need for you to have the ability to build the soft skills.
That is so key, because it's very interesting. What was that family saying? Because they're focused on each other. They're in the moment. This is what's key. I mean, in any relationship, and think about this from a sales perspective, because this is sales logic. When you're with a customer, I this destroys. I hate this, but everybody says, "Oh, I'm a good listener." If everybody says they're a good listener, how come listening is so poor? Because we're not good listeners. We're not absolutely in the moment. Because what happens is we hear somebody make a comment, and all we are getting ready to do is, what's going to be our comment on what they just shared with us? Stop. Our comment should be to build on what they said. And AI does a great job of finding all this background information. But my concern is AI is going to find a lot of noise. It's going to find a lot of noise, and it's going to cause a lot of distractions. And I think, Tammy, this is what's happening to you. Your boss is caught up in AI. Your boss is seeing that, wow, this could be this great tool that's going to allow me to eliminate people or change how we do jobs. Hold it. Tammy, you do your job in the best way possible. And you know what? Even if you do lose your job, you're going to find another job because your customers love you.
Yeah, I love what you're saying here. AI taking notes for you while you're on a call with a prospect is priceless. Oh my God. I mean, you are so right. I've got my little otter going every time I'm on a Zoom call, and I love it because I can really be present while it's capturing the entire call. It allows me to do what I can do better and what AI can't do. Tammy, the other thing is, don't try to fight your boss on this. again, use AI and then focus on what you do really well. I have advised most of my clients that I think the role of the sales professional is changing right now. And while they're still selling, they're the greatest intel on the ground because so much of selling now is happening from online. And that's great. It's efficient, it's effective, it's amazing. But you can't get the feel for the customer. And years ago when I was in banking, I could tell you when a company was close to being in financial trouble or going out of business. And that is when the CEO or the executive team lost touch with the customer. Never, ever lose touch with the customer. So understand, don't see AI as a threat. See it as something that is going to allow you to really work in your zone of expertise.
You know, what's interesting is it's AI, artificial intelligence. It's not AR, artificial relationships. It's never going to be a relationship. Sales is an emotional activity. Without a doubt, life is an emotional activity. And what we have to remember is that we can use AI for all these tools and so forth, but it's still people connecting with people. Tammy, why do people like you? Because they are emotionally connected to you. Emotionally connected to you because of the way you help them, the way you address their needs, the way you make them feel better about themselves. That's key. That is what sales is all about. You know, I contend we are never going to be replaced by AI. We're going to be replaced by somebody who is using AI. And that's what's key. Tammy, you use AI in your job to help you do routine tasks. And just like Mare said, she uses Otter to record all of her conversations. Very, very simple way. What does that do? It just allows you to synthesize and extrapolate quickly key facts that you might have missed by going back and checking those notes. Excellent. But here's the key thing. If your boss is embracing AI, we can go off the deep end. I was on a call the other day, and this gentleman was pitching me on a software tool that will truly replace SDR, totally make it AI, an AI bot. And I'm sitting there saying, well, okay, this is interesting. Private equity firms are going to like this, but I really question how it's going to be a tool out there. But you know what? There'll be companies that will embrace it. There will be companies that use it. I mean, literally, an AI bot doing the complete sales function, taking it all the way to the account executive to really basically come in and close the sale, even to the voice. Is that creepy or is that creepy? You know, I don't know where this goes. I'm sure he's going to get funding. I'm sure he's going to get it out there. But here, at the end of the day, I don't think it's going to be successful. It's going to be a shiny object that comes and goes. We've seen so many tools come and go in the technology space over the last. How many of you remember MySpace? Remember MySpace? That came and went. Remember Periscope? Remember that? That was. There have been so many tools that have come and gone. So hey, hold on, folks. Stuff's going to evolve. Stuff's going to come here, and it's going to take hold, but not everything.
Yeah, I love what Andy Greenberg is saying here. He says, I establish a relationship with my audience. As they enter, I greet them at the door, introduce myself, ask their name, shake their hand, and they love it. I say goodbye personally as they leave and hand out my card. That is something AI can never do. So here's the thing I would say, though, Tammy, is that number one, you need to think about starting to evolve your role. Everybody listening to this, how much value are you adding? The only way you will never be replaced is if you are valuable. So if you are fired, if you are let go, if you are, fired by a customer, that's not personal. It's because you were not valuable to that customer. So this is something I've really been looking at in my own business and saying, how much value am I really adding? And am I only adding it after they ask me to add it? Because if I'm only adding it after they ask me to add it, then they don't really need me. So I think as salespeople, we got to up our game. I love AI coming into it because what it's saying is if you're doing what you've always done, you are going to become irrelevant because I can replace you. But if you think about AI as competition, when competition enters the marketplace, all you have to do is be one step ahead of the competition.
I love what you just said, because if you are basically helping the customer after they've raised the need, you're too late.
Mhm.
And this is the whole thing. We have to be proactive. We create our job security by helping our customers identify needs and challenges before they've identified them. We help them by bringing them solutions. If you take anything from this episode, this last minute is absolutely key. This is the way you create your job security. You have to anticipate. Now, AI can help you do that. AI can help you identify industry trends, industry things. AI can help you do that. But it's up to you to go out there and do it. But you have to be not proactive, I'm going to say pre-active, in terms of getting out there way ahead of time in terms of helping your customers. Tammy, that's how you're going to create your job security, and that's how you're going to use AI.
Absolutely. I love what Dave Sanderson is saying here. Understanding using AI is extremely important, but the real AI is having authentic interactions. Now, you know what is so great about what Dave is saying here? Let's be real. I can't get a medication that I need in Asheville right now. So I called my doctor because I'm going back and forth between Charleston and Western North Carolina. I called my doctor. I said, "Is there any way you could call it into a pharmacy in South Carolina?" Which he did. But there's 3 of the named pharmacies. So it took me 45 minutes with AI to get through the phone tree to finally get to a person to figure out where my prescription was. Give me a salesperson all freaking day long. I was so frustrated. I mean, I was just about in tears. So think about these things. Like, think about, I've got a client that the biggest suggestion they've had from a high-powered consultant is to not answer the phone anymore. And all of the executive leadership team was like, yeah, it'll save us this money. The CEO, who also founded the company, came back in. He said, "You can do anything you want to, but we will never be an organization that people give us money to do business with us and we don't pick up the telephone." Now, I think he has a huge competitive advantage.
Now, stop and think about that. That whole idea was to cut costs short term. It may save money short term, but does it damage long-term customer equity, long-term customer value?
I'm never getting a prescription filled there ever
Right.
again as long as I live.
That is absolutely without a doubt. And this is where we have to be cautious that we don't all jump on the AI train, because a lot of people are on the AI train and they're using AI to replace everything. And that is absolutely a big risk. I love Natalie's comment. Be a curious learner. Take LinkedIn live courses on AI and apply. Yeah, it is. This is where AI can help you, because again, we have to be continuously expanding. If we are not 24/7 learners, we are letting ourselves down and we're letting our customers down. And that is a real damage. That's how AI gets ahead of us, period.
Natalie, this is such a good idea. I'm going to do that. I'm embarrassed to say I never thought about that, but I'm probably not educating myself enough on AI, and I'm not helping my customers. Brilliant advice. I just love the community here. Bill Snow always chimes in with unbelievable content and comments. AI can't follow up with prospects that create value and trust. Too many salespeople are poor with follow-up and adding value during the sales process. I love that you said that, because obviously that's my area of passion. But our question next week is going to be on follow-up. A gentleman reached out on LinkedIn and is really struggling with how to follow up without being annoying. So you're right. Like, follow up can do drip campaigns with you, but how many drip campaigns do you get that you know it's a drip campaign? It is not coming from anybody who cares at all about your business.
Now, that's very interesting, because I can use AI to give me content, to give me ideas, but AI is not going to write the email for me in terms of follow-up message. I'm going to compose it. I'm going to write it. This is what's absolutely key, because here's the thing. Customers more than ever, people more than ever, we know AI. We know we're being inundated. So again, we want that personal approach to it. And if we don't get that personal approach, we lose. But we can't run from AI, because it's going to help us get the knowledge to have the personal approach.
Absolutely. Michael Grade, he's pleased to participate in wonderful training. I'm so excited to use AI for learning customer behavior and improve our customer experience. And Natalie, thanks for taking my LinkedIn learning courses, which are about as far from AI as you could possibly be. They're all about the relationship. Mark's about to do his first in LinkedIn learning course, I think coming up in November, right, Mark?
Well, we are working on it. Not sure when the release date, but yeah, it's what I've got to work on today. So yeah, but hey, what does this come down to? It comes down to we have to be continuous learners, and especially in this AI world, and it just is going to accelerate our learning. And if we don't accelerate our learning, we're going to get swept behind very, very quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that you know, I work a lot in the uncertainty space, and when you study uncertainty, and AI is producing uncertainty in the marketplace, certainly for sales professionals. I mean, some ridiculous statistic came out the other day that said something like 65 to 70% of jobs will be replaced in the next 10 years by AI. I mean, those things are, those things are ridiculous in my opinion. I think what they'll do is change our world. Don't be afraid of that. It's always changed. I mean, we moved out of the agricultural age into the industrial age. You move into the computer age. I mean, it's always evolving and changing. So don't fear it. Understand that when anything is introduced into the marketplace that can add value to you, it doesn't erase your role, it changes your role. Now, you can't ignore that because, again, if all you're doing is making outbound calls, you're doing the same thing you've always done. You've got to, I think in the future, it's not going to be for sales professional. I think your value is not going to be in how many calls you made, but how many real deep quality relationships you have, and how can you use those relationships to help your company develop products and services that are a step ahead of the competition and completely really, really valuable to your customers.
Hey, I want to run with that because that's powerful. Because here's the thing. AI allows us to accelerate everything. Oh, I can have more prospects. I can have more leads. No. It really is about not the quantity, it's the quality. And again, yin and yang in this world that we live in. I talk about this all the time. My objective is not to have 1,000 prospects, 1,000 leads. My objective is to have 20, 25 prospects that I can absolutely dial in and get tight with. That's who I want, because then I can create that personable relationship. I can truly understand their need. It's not a quantity. That train left the station. It's quality. Quality is going to win the game going forward, especially as AI accelerates. And I love that you put the comment up there to join the Sales Logic Mastermind. Yes, join it, because hey, coming up in a couple of weeks, we had another one of our Sales Logic expert exchanges, and I'll put the link in the note. But I want you to register for it because it's the fourth Monday of each month, we do a kind of a fireside chat with an expert, and it's really, really kind of cool. So we encourage people. It's open to anybody, but of course, mastermind members, they get the Q&A piece. Yeah.
Yeah. I was just typing in the notes, fourth Monday of each month, mark your calendar for 4 p.m. Eastern. So Mark, that's probably a really good transition as to what's up for the book.
Well, the book is our Sales Logic expert exchange person this month, Larry Levine. And the book we are featuring today is Selling from the Heart. Now, this has been out a few years. You know, he came out with a new book just recently, Selling in a Post-Trust World. But you can't forget his first book, Selling from the Heart. And I think the more AI accelerates, the more important this book becomes. Absolutely.
What this reminds me of, I think of like Larry Levine in the world of AI, and he's probably one of the foremost experts on building sales relationships. But, when you've got to be the yin to the I won't get this right, the yin to the yang of your competition or whatever, you doing what everybody else is doing is not going to get you ahead. You've got to look for what does the market need and what could you that nobody else is offering. And right now, I think Mark and I are both professional speakers. Throw a rock and you can hit an AI speaker. I mean, everybody's freaking talking about AI. Now, it's a needed subject. People are really interested in it, but that will wane too, so you've got to be thinking about that. And gosh, I mean, Larry is going to be our sales expert, 4 p.m. Eastern, the fourth Monday of this month. And I don't know anybody who knows more about really selling from the heart for growth, for profitability, for success of your organization, and really making sales far more easy and far more effective.
And that's the yin to the yang. That's
Yeah.
why I'm glad we are doing it. So it's great. Hey, we need to jump to the lightning round. Hey, we put the link in there. That's the link to register. Yeah, it's kind of long. I get it. But hey, it's free. It's a 40-minute conversation we are going to have with Larry. So anyway, are you ready for the lightning round?
I am.
10 ways to make sales relationships more meaningful.
Listen. That would be number one. Listen with no intention of answering or offering a solution.
Elevate the person. I don't care how you do it. Elevate the person.
Focus on their needs first. Whatever it is that they want, fulfill their urgent need.
Connect them with other people.
I would say reach out and check in with people, whether they need anything or not.
Surprise them by sharing with them knowledge or insight of something that's way out ahead for them. And again, this is the preactive with your customers, preactive with your relationships.
Yeah, if you want to build better relationships, then understand their industry better than they do.
And I'm going to add this, help them in connecting with other people. Now, I said earlier to refer them to other people, but they may have existing relationships with people. All three of you, all four of you connect together, get together, elevate every one of them, and you elevate yourself.
I'm guessing we're about on.
I think we're on number 9. Go ahead.
Okay.
We need AI to count for us.
That's right. Connect on a personal level. Get to know, who their kids are, what their sports are, what's important to them. Even people who are a bit introverted who don't want that. If you know something personal about them and can respond in that way, it builds more of a relationship.
And number 10, don't make it about you. Make it about other people. And with that, I want to say, hey, Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, absolutely devastated. That is Mayor's home. Western North Carolina, Asheville has been absolutely devastated. She's doing the show from Charleston because she has no power at her home. Thank you for making the show happen. We encourage you to donate. Please do anything you possibly can. Mayor, you made the comment. Okay, thank you. We're getting some of the things. Donate. 828strong.com. Go out there, donate, please. It is going to be a long time for this area to come back, but Asheville is going to come back stronger than ever. Mayor, add a comment as to how you feel about what you've seen.
Yeah, it reminds me of Charles Dickens, the best in times and the worst of times. What is going on in Western North Carolina, Eastern Tennessee, and Georgia? It's horrific. I mean, it is. I lost my home in Hurricane Hugo. My husband lost his business in the flood of 2004. This is nothing compared to that. The number of drownings, people missing in mudslides, the desperation for food and water. I mean, it's horrible. At the same time, people have been unbelievable. The kindness and the heroic ness of people has really just been in trouble. I think one of the biggest needs that is going to be there right now, and this isn't a political statement, but the government can't help us. This is going to have to be a private. This is really going to have to be a private endeavor. Is that I think the biggest need is going to be, it's going to get cold in Asheville soon, and there's going to be a need for warm clothes. There's going to be a need for blankets. There's going to be, because people have lost absolutely positively everything. So I put up there 828strong.com. 828 is our area code in the Asheville area. That's a local charity, and I'll keep you posted because the need's going to be ongoing. But thank you. So many of you have reached out, and if all you can do is a prayer, that is incredibly powerful, and a prayer really, really, really helps. So thanks.
Yeah, it's going to be a long road back, but Asheville's going to come back. The whole area is going to come back stronger than ever. And hey, with that, we want to say thank you for listening to Sales Logic this week. If you like what you hear, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. Something we've said has earned you a single dollar. Consider telling a friend about our show, because it's how we grow when we help you grow. I'm Mark Hunter.
And I'm Meridith Elliott Powell.
Remember, when you sell with confidence and integrity,
all of this uncertainty suddenly becomes your competitive advantage.
And the sale becomes logical. Check that link out. Join us for the Sales Logic Expert Exchange, the fourth Monday of each month.
Yeah, think about joining the Sales Logic Mastermind. If there's anything that I have learned through everything we've been through in this last week, is community really, really matters. And the Sales Logic Mastermind is where you find community. All right, we'll see you right back here next week for another episode of Sales Logic. And remember, we are going to be talking about sales follow-up, what it really takes to land the deal. We'll see you right back here next week. Bye. Have a great week.